Hey, what is up, disc golfers? Today on Iceberg TV, we've got the brand new Berg X from Kastaplast. If you want to get one of these for yourself, head over to Disc Golf Deals USA. I have a discount code in the description down below. So what I've got here to compare it to is a K1 Soft Berg, my super old school K3 Berg. This is a disc that has not left my bag since I got it. And I think I've probably thrown a Berg more than 99.9% of other people. I've been throwing this extremely consistently since 2018. And like I said, it's never left my main bag. Now we also have a special collector's item here. We have a poison green K2 Berg, which you very rarely see. So what we're going to do is compare the Berg X to all of these other wonderful Bergs. I'm going to show you guys the side profile because I feel like that is the most important thing when buying a disc. We've got Berg X, K1 Soft. Basically, I'm going to be totally honest, the exact same disc, except the Berg X is slightly more squared. And when I say slightly, I mean very slightly more squared. I will show you guys really nicely. I'll come behind the camera here. You can see it's definitely more square, but I'm not sure if it's enough to actually make a difference. We've got a pretty darn stiff headwind coming in, so this will be a great way to test the stability. That had nice height on it, enough stability to handle the headwind, and then in typical Berg fashion, falling out of the sky about 100 feet away. Berg X having quite a bit more fade. K2. Ooh. The K2 just flew super dead straight. And then this is the most beaten Berg I've ever seen. I've never seen someone with a Berg more used than mine. This is just as lumpy as Aaron Gossage's lumpy zone. Very, very lumpy disc. I've never thrown it backhand. And yep, that makes about sense. It's a pretty stiff headwind right now. So super beating K3, just turned and burned. The Berg X was significantly more stable than all of the alternatives. We'll go grab everything and throw them a few more times. The shot I love the Berg the most for is just the dead straight, sort of torque resistant forehand. What I love about this particular K3 Berg, it feels really nice in my hand for forehand. And whatever line I put it on with the forehand, it just holds it. And everybody says that about every disc, but I can guarantee you that this disc does it better than most, at least for me. And when I'm approaching the green, I can throw it on hyzer, stays on hyzer. I can throw flat, goes dead straight. I can throw on ante, holds the ante. And I've never thrown a disc that flies exactly like this one, and that's why it has never left my bag. So we'll throw the, we'll go Berg and then Berg X. I think these two are the most similar. You guys probably want to know about these two the most. So again, we've got the poison green Berg X and then the K1 Soft Berg. We'll just go with some nice straight forehand tosses here. We'll go Berg, then Berg X. Nice quintessential Berg flight, nice and straight with a good little dump, but not like a skipping dump. It just really wants to slow down and get down. There's Berg X. Definitely seems to want to get down a bit faster and be quite a bit more stable. After the first two throws, these are the two most understable. We've got K2, poison green. See, that one wants to hold the turn a bit more. That's a really nice Berg. That's the closest Berg I've ever seen flying, or in comparison flying to how this one flies. I love putting this one up high on ante and just letting it drift. Like that shot right there is my bread and butter approach shot. If I'm anything inside 200, I'm always going to, on a par 4, get up and down for the birdie, or if I make a mistake off the tee, get up and down for par. At first, I think I misunderstood the flight numbers. They didn't put a -1 turn, it's a 1 turn. So it's supposed to be like mega extra stable, which totally makes sense with how much sort of square and blockier it is than the normal Berg. It's got a wider surface area, sort of pushing into the air. And so it's going to slow down faster, and then also want to fade slightly more because it's slowing down faster through the air. All right, we'll go same order, K1 soft, Berg X, and then we'll throw these other two. So we're going back into, again, a very stiff headwind. We'll put these on a slight hyzer. Wanting to just pick up, go dead straight. I love that the Berg has the torque resistance to be flicked, particularly into the headwinds like this. Now we have the Berg X, which I'm assuming will just probably hold the hyzer angle. Yeah, that thing is beef. That, if you're a Berg thrower and you love that thumb track feel, you're going to love how that flies in comparison to your normal Berg. You saw the normal Berg kind of picked up and went straighter. That one does not want to pick up and go straight. It wants to just be super stable. So it's really nice to have that hand-in-hand flight. I actually been bagging a slammer for those hyzer shots because the Berg just wasn't quite fadey enough for that. So if you've had a similar problem, you're bagging a zone or a slammer or any other stable approach disc, that Berg X flies a lot more like a traditional approach disc. All right, then we got flippy super beating K3 hyzer. Wanting to pick up and go significantly straighter than the Berg X. And then we have flippy K2. I might have to mess around with that K2 a bit more because I've been really wanting a less warped replacement for the flight of my beating K3. That K2 seems to have just that nice little bit more flip to it. And back when I started playing disc golf and really started to get into it around 2018, I went in and bought that original K3 Berg at a Play It Again Sports off the used rack. And the only reason I bought it is because my last name has Berg in it. I was like, oh, okay, this disc has my name on it. And I grabbed two of them with a gold stamp, and both of them have been thrown so much to where the stamp is completely worn off. It was two orange Bergs, both with gold stamps. And those are the only two Bergs I've ever truly needed. And anything extra was exactly that, extra. And Kastaplast used to be a brand that was just one of those like weird one-off niche brands that, you know, people that just simply wanted to be different and have different discs would buy. But now, the current state of Kastaplast, they're a name brand company right on board with and right alongside so many other great brands. And they have a really solid lineup. And right here is like the perfect example of a shot I would throw the Berg on. I can lean into that flat / any angle and just kind of put it up in the air and let it come down near the basket. We will start off, again, same order, K1 soft, Berg X, and then the funsies. So K1 soft first. And I love this shot. I'll just, most of the time, just throw it as a standstill. I think the Berg X needs a little bit more anhyzer. That's very stable. That's just super stable Berg. It feels so similar in the hand, but it's just so much more stable. Then we got the two flippy ones. Funzy K2. I like the flight of that one so much more. Go in. And K3. And you can tell I've thrown that K3 a lot. I just feel like that is just the #1 point and shoot disc in my bag. If I want to confidently get to the basket, that's basically always the disc I throw. Both of these are definitely on the more stable side than I am used to. Still kind of dialing that one in. Then Berg X, so stable, it could actually be thrown on a bit of Annie. It wanted to swing before it hit the bush. Hyzer flip, dead straight. So reliable. I love that disc. And this K2 is impressing me. It actually flies exactly like that one, except this one's not warped and it's a lot more premium feeling in the hand. All right, this is going to be it. Last set of throws here. Just a straight up stock hyzer. This is probably what most of you are using the Berg for. And then Berg X, you can just see how much more stable this guy is. I can swing it much wider and just really swings over, especially more than my beat-in K3 and the K2. See, my K3 definitely picks up and goes a hair straighter, and then K2. Well, all right, guys, Berg X. I think it's a really good disc. I think if you like the Berg already, and you want to complement that with something with a similar feel in hand, that is a hair more overstable, a little bit more torque resistant, can handle the anti-release a little more trustworthy, I think you're really going to like the Berg X. And if you want to save money on one, use my link in the description below. I've got a discount code down there. You can save money on one over at Disc Golf Deals USA. So big shout out to them for sponsoring today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and take care.